Good evening, everyone. It is 6:03, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Others can join us later in the meeting as well, but we'll go ahead and stick to our timeline. My name is Megan Covey. I'm the Grants Director for the county, and I'm here with Chris Currington, who's our Grant Research and Application Manager. So he's going to help me facilitate some discussion tonight about the county's Community Development Block Grant, and we call that CDBG, so that's how we'll refer to it for most of the evening. But we're here because the Clay County has completed the draft of its FY 25-26 Annual Action Plan, which is the document on the tables tonight, so you can refer to that for reference. You're welcome to just use it while you're here tonight, or if you want to take a copy with you, that's fine too. We have this published on the claycountygov.com website as well, under community services, and we have hard copies available in each of our county library branches, as well as the community services and grants office at 420 College Drive, Suite 107. So lots of ways to access this document. Public comment began June 1st and it will run through June 30th. So you're always welcome to participate through public meetings like this, but you can also share with fellow residents, and they're welcome to submit comments via email, cdbg@claycountygov.com. We'll accept those comments too.
There you go again.
cdbg@claycountygov.com.
Is that spelled out county?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So, this is where all this information here as well?
Yes.
Okay. That's the website, CDBG.
That's the email. That's the email address.
What's the website?
claycountygov.com.
Claycountygov, okay.
Yes. So the annual action plan is our one-year planning document that describes the amount of CDBG funds the county expects to receive for the year and outlines the activities that we can use those funds for. So it serves as a grant application that we submit to HUD. And in order for a project to be eligible, it has to meet one of the three national CDBG objectives. The first, which most of our projects fall into, is to benefit low and moderate income persons. The second is to aid in the prevention or elimination of slum or blight. And the third is to meet a community development need of urgency. So we have received our official allocation from HUD. When we originally published our legal ad, we only had an estimate, but HUD has let us know that we'll be receiving $1,060,250 for FY26. So that's the pot of money we'll be talking about tonight. The annual action plan on page 12 breaks out that $1 million into these categories. So we have public infrastructure, which based on past history has been our largest bucket of funding, and in past years, the public has really supported infrastructure projects more than any other category. So that's why the bulk of funds are here for now. We have also done housing rehab the past 4 years that we've received CDBG funding. We have lowered that allocation a little this year based on prior feedback for infrastructure. So that's currently at $150. And then administration expenses, which is all the environmental requirements associated with doing these projects, as well as the planning, the facilitation that goes into our 5-year plan, is put into administration. So that's what we'll be discussing tonight and digging into. And to get started, we have some questions just to get us in the mindset. And again, CDBG funds are intended to improve the quality of life in our communities, and particularly increase and improve property values in low to moderate income areas of the county. So we just wanted to brainstorm with you all what qualities make up a vibrant neighborhood or community. And if you want to just raise your hand, I'll pass the mic. We are recording this. That's part of the public comment process. So I'll pass the mic to you so we can record your answer. But from the audience, what qualities do you think make up a vibrant neighborhood or community? Well, yes, what do you think are important elements
Paved streets. Paved streets.
Paved streets.
Does that mic work? Does that mic work? Because you can hear me.
This is our only mic, so I can also repeat answers as well, and we'll capture it. Chris is going to write down our answers here on the board so we can capture them.
Street lights.
Street lights?
Repaired.
Okay, very good.
And sidewalks, I think we need to combine in that.
Sidewalks.
Walkability.
Good walkability.
Like for example, Dirty Ridge. They come out Dirty Ridge, Cassie right there. That little dirt part that goes over to the Red Public Trail. Gravel that, they do something to it. We have to go down another 150 yards to come back. 100 was, I mean,
Sure, so ADA accessible trails,
well, even bicycles
walking,
get stuck in it.
bicycle
Yeah,
paths.
bicycles even get stuck in it, so.
Okay, yeah, and those are projects we've done in prior years too with sidewalks, is particularly not just replacing sidewalk, but also getting them up to grade with ADA requirements, making them more accessible for bikers and other modes of transportation.
Well, I travel most of them. Okay. And most of them, actually Keystone, most of them were not in bad shape. They're
Okay.
not. There's areas that roots of trees have started to crack it up. There's some areas where it's got like a fault. There's one area where I can't go up and over, so I go around. I mean, no biggie. But I mean, it's not that. Sidewalks Keystone are not that bad, and I travel them a lot.
Okay.
I mean, a lot.
All right.
I would say, down like the rails to trails, I would like to see clearing of the trees so you feel a little more safer about walking down through some of those paths.
Okay. So clearing of trails, safety improvements.
Just like, say you can see from the road as you're traveling, if you're going for walks like here, especially right here on 100, it's like there's a lot of trees that are in the way, and you're trying to walk by yourself.
Yeah, it takes a lot of shade away too, but still.
Well, if they could just weed it out a little bit.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, yeah, because I can't see.
So clearing of vegetation
Right.
from public walkways and trails.
Well, our trash program is still going on for the mission for Heritage Ridge.
Community cleanups.
Most of that trash they probably came from Heritage Ridge.
Those are the community cleanups that they've been doing with High Ridge Initiative? Okay, so community cleanups.
That's been working really good.
Okay, good to
I
hear
can't do
that.
a lot of it, but I'm aware and involved with a lot, some of it,
Good, good. Yes, we do have some remaining community cleanup funds from our current year. So those funds will roll over. That is budgeted, so we can continue to do that in next fiscal year, even though it doesn't specifically appear here.
So in the infrastructure, does that include drainage?
We haven't used CDBG funds for drainage necessarily, but I mean, road paving.
Well, the roads and sidewalks, but like appropriate drainage of like some of the rain runoff as opposed to going into people's properties?
Rain runoff, okay. So we may have some other grant programs that would address that. Are there specific areas?
I live behind high school.
Behind Keystone High School?
Yeah.
Okay, okay,
All the water from Hilltop comes down into my property.
okay. So, yeah, let's make a note of that. And drainage.
Maybe even for like, when we talk about a vibrant neighborhood, something, for the kids, like say this park, upgrade the park, more accessible for the kids, like, a water feature.
Okay, making amenity improvements
Yeah.
to public parks, safe places for youth to go and families. And those types of projects are eligible with CDBG funds?
That
Yes.
same project, that's what they did in Athens, Georgia, I was part of it through our International Artists Guild, which is a charity I work for in Georgia. We got the funds allocated to make a little mini water park.
Okay.
It's like, it was based on the concept from the Olympics. We had the water that would just fountain, like in the morning, the park open, turn the water, it'd splash, and you'd have a couple little slides, and the water always was in a timing, Yeah, a little display, whatever. But it was a water park, the kids showed up.
Great. All right, let's make sure water parks are on there.
Those are not very expensive projects compared,
Sure.
comparable to other type things, yeah.
Okay.
Does it include for grading roads that they're not taking responsibility for?
Yes, road grading.
So they have, I live on Dogwood, and they own it, but they don't grade it. They grade the one next to me on both sides,
Okay,
but they don't grade mine.
Dogwood, and is that in High Ridge?
No.
And that's it.
That-
That's behind the high school.
Oh, that's still behind the high school, okay. Yeah, let's make a note specifically of Dogwood road grading.
Yeah, they don't grade it, they grade everybody else and not us.
Okay,
It's bad.
all right, that's one we can take back to our engineering
It needs to be
department.
graded. I mean, at least give us a shot.
Okay,
But I have lakefront property, but I don't want all lake.
understood,
Yeah.
understood. All right,
As far as infrastructure in High Ridge, what is the next street that we want to do?
Yes.
On that street, there's a, whenever you go around the bend, there's like a hole.
That's what I was told, yeah.
If you ever talk about that, I'd like to see a railing.
okay, a railing along the culvert on Cassie.
And it's right the same, we're talking same little spot. Same little spot.
Okay, well, there's.
So you're talking there at the
Okay,
corner
okay.
in front of the neighborhood?
Yeah,
the
right
front
there.
wall.
Turn. So that's at,
Oh, it used to be a culvert right there.
Swarthmore and Temple.
Temple.
Temple and Swarthmore, there's the culvert there at the corner is very exposed.
Okay,
Yeah. Even buy, so I said, you can buy it. They have
Now,
to
there's a
walk
culvert, which is unusual, so it's kind of a win.
all right. Railing at Temple, and do you mind writing down Swarthmore too, Chris? Thank you. All right. Anything else for this
I
question?
know that they had approved on the budget that they're gonna pave. They're gonna pave, is it Lake? Pavilion? What's the one, Cassie? Lakeside, Lakeview, and Hilltop.
Yeah.
So they're gonna pave those two roads. I know it was approved, and it was for this year's budget, and that's gonna be happening, they said,
Is
before
that
October. Yeah, they came to see me a couple of weeks ago, they knocked on the door, just informed me what they're gonna be doing and how they're gonna be doing it. And one of the things that I thought would be nice is if we could tie in the possibility of getting Dogwood graded, because they are gonna be paving those roads, that's all gonna be like fresh and new. And they are gonna be at culverts, he said every 200 feet. The
Okay.
engineer came to see me. So he explained the whole process of everything that's happening, so maybe we could get that all done. And Dogwood could get graded, it would be all new over there, and it would probably take care of the water management and drainage.
Okay, we'll take that back to our engineering department. That's something that may even be able to be done outside of CDBG.
Yeah, he gave me his name and number for contact information if I needed to ask any questions while they were doing the work, so. And he said that they're gonna be bringing the pave in a little bit on Dogwood. Like just a little in the front. And they're gonna try to make it so the water goes someplace else and then over to the culvert, they're gonna do every 200 feet down southwest pond towards Paradise. So he explained the whole process to me. I just thought, if we can get Dogwood graded, then we'll all be new, everything will be done.
Okay, we will take that back to the team. Thank you for that. All right, anything else on vibrant community qualities that we want to put on here? If not, we can move on to our next question. And this one is similar, but just a little more specific to infrastructure. So what kind of infrastructure needs need to be implemented to create a safer living environment? I know we talked about sidewalks, railings, lighting. Are there other infrastructure qualities we haven't talked about? Lighting?
is a good one, yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
And lighting, is
I have
that,
zero lighting out there.
is that along roadways, sidewalks? Where are
So
you
the
looking for
roadway would
lights?
be nice, just to have it lit up out there.
Okay.
There are zero lights out there.
There's zero sidewalks, so
There
it's
we
hard
go.
to, hard to light a sidewalk if it's not there.
There, I think it goes down just a little ways, then the sidewalks would begin. So I want to say if you pass the high school on Southwest Pecan, there is a sidewalk that runs right, it would be almost before you get to the stadium track.
Yeah, it ends around the stadium.
Yeah, so that's
But
from
those are
there.
also city.
Yeah,
roads
that's
and sidewalks.
past the sign, right, welcome to Keystone Lake City. But there are no sidewalks down past that, no street lights, nothing.
What about crosswalks?
No. But we do have the kids, but only up to that point where the city begins. So if the kids are walking to school, that's it. That's the only spot, that's it.
Any other safety elements?
One thing that, for especially, this is something we talk about in high resolution meetings, especially for drivers, I think, the spots where the pavement goes off onto the roads, goes like a bridge, that you really have graded down.
Okay. So grading down smooth transitions between paved and unpaved
I'd like to see
surfaces.
how it's paved, you know, I mean, it's one of the few communities here that don't have paved. I mean, there's very few roads that are paved. I remember going through the woods out there, man, even I got stuck with a four-wheeler, okay? You can say, when it's dry, like right now it's okay, it's been raining pat down, but about a week and a half, it don't rain, you ain't going through there. I don't care what you drive.
Okay.
Four-wheeler ain't gone.
Okay, yeah, let's put road paving on here too, Chris.
Just one road would wipe out that 1 million.
Yeah, we've heard that in the past, that for public safety access, mail access, school buses, I know, that's important for all of those services.
They just don't bring it up.
We gotta get on the sense.
All right, any other safety improvements we want to list here? If not, we can move on, now starting to get a little more detailed still and talk about specific projects. So if there are specific projects in High Ridge, in Keystone, other areas of the county you're familiar with, how would you recommend that we use the infrastructure dollars? Are there we've talked some about specific roads and sidewalks, but other specific projects you would like to see done?
So with the infrastructure, they had talked about a crosswalk, I think you were at the High Ridge, in front of High Ridge, going across to the Mission.
Yes.
Lots of children. I was on my way here, and there was 4 kids running across.
Across 100?
So
Yeah.
you're talking about like a crosswalk.
There's, yeah, across, we had discussed it in the High Ridge Initiative meeting about a crosswalk there.
Or at least a flash sign or something.
Something,
Yeah.
but,
Flashing signal,
Yeah, the mission
Signage.
is starting to grow now, so we're getting a lot of kids and people coming over. I cross there a lot, so I have to be extremely careful because it's 100.
Yeah.
And people think they hit NASCAR and come around that corner.
and you have, like, the summer program, children coming back and forth to the summer program.
Well, that's the main crosswalk coming out
And
here.
there's a lot of foot traffic, coming out of High Ridge, and there's no crosswalk there.
okay. Yeah, and Chris, do you mind writing down specifically between a High Ridge neighborhood and Mission of the Dirt Road, right?
Mission of the Dirt Road.
That's the connection, okay.
That one area, because it comes around the bend, so it's hard to see.
Yeah, like I said, people, sometimes they let off the gas when they hit that corner, sometimes they don't. I live with Geneva's right next door to it, so I see it all day. I was supposed to get hit once, somebody on their phone.
Do they have, rules like about homeowners along that strip trimming their trees in the front? That
So-
overhang?
Yeah, that is eligible for CDBG funds, that kind of tree trimming
So
and,
that would be like something I would bring up because the people that have the property next door, like their trees overhang, so you can't see what's coming around that bend.
yeah.
You don't know how many times I want to go over there and just snip. But,
So clearing vegetative
but I think
overhangs.
you brought it up over there.
Well,
Clearing
that
vegetation.
was trail specific
Yeah.
pretty much, so
Yeah,
this
that's
would
like
probably
both
be.
black
For this
trail.
one, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so that would be.
Is that like public flag trail, is that a county road or is that state?
Which one?
I'm sorry,
Straight
which one?
up a black trail. Is that state or is that county? Because it goes all the way to Rapid to Black, that's Putnam.
Oh, yeah, it's a
Union
sun trail,
Way.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the 3 counties.
Yeah, so that one would be the clearing of,
So clearing of vegetation in residential areas?
yeah, I mean, I guess that would be, is that considered a residential area? Is that both?
Yeah, I mean, that is pretty specific to that one exit.
Along major roads and trails.
I would
Yeah.
assume so, yeah.
Okay.
Electric truck would keep that out a little bit, but not a lot. but
Just to
some.
clear visibility, you know,
You
traffic
definitely want
that
shade.
you can't see anything go around like
You
that.
don't want to be able to be hidden where things are.
There's some places on that you can't see, you see it from the road if you want to. It goes way back, I mean, I've seen it from global or view. I think it goes out around some of these farms and stuff. There ain't nobody out there to see you. Oh, I like to take a golf course one day, just go the whole thing, but I can't do this in the corner.
It would be really nice to have I know where, when we lived in Kansas, there was a nice little park where the water would just come up.
On Matt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have that
Right.
on splashboards. Yeah,
Yeah.
we just walk on it,
Thank
and
you,
it
that's what I was looking for.
It's up,
Something
yeah,
like that.
But we have at home community playground where like, if the city had an empty lot, then there would be some funds allocated and then people would volunteer and build a little community park or playground. And we have
Maybe
those
we should
types
do
of
some of
things.
this, and, you know.
Except the city, the difference in, from what I understand is that the city owns these parks. So the county funding may be problematic for city parks.
Yeah.
As opposed to, there would have to be, the current county parks are like Twin Lakes, Little Rain Lake,
Yeah.
those, like recreational type of parks. There aren't any county parks that are closer to the city. The city,
Is Rain Park
the city
part
has
of
6
that?
parks.
Is Rain Park part of that? That's
Little Rain Lake, that is a county park, yeah.
Mhm.
Little Rain Lake
Well,
and,
one part here wouldn't hurt for all the kids to come. to
No,
the
absolutely.
ball games. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, especially summer in Florida.
right.
I don't play those games out there when I was going, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hot.
Even Twin Lakes, some of those.
Yeah, Twin Lakes is-
Right.
Can you specifically write Little Rain Park as well?
There's a few of us around here that grew up here, so we
Yeah.
know where a lot of these places are.
I love this park you guys have here. I keep trying to talk my kids into bringing my grandchildren down, but, there's some work that needs to be done on that. So maybe you guys can do that.
Yeah, I think that, again, that falls on the city.
Yeah, that's all city, yeah, that's all
Yeah.
city. Let me talk to Drew.
Okay, any other comments on infrastructure that we want to capture?
Boy, like me mayor, I would override all of us and say, hey, put it in. Look, just been doing override.
You should run for mayor, Jimmy.
Yeah, and that's one we do.
All right, if we captured infrastructure, let's talk a little bit about housing rehab. Do you have something else?
No,
Okay,
thank you,
okay.
sorry.
Oh, no, that's fine. So housing rehab, this is another program we've run the past 4 years, and as I mentioned, with current funding, we've been able to do about 8 to 10 homes a year, and it's typically been for things like roof replacement, ADA upgrades inside the home for residents. So we just like some feedback from you all. Do you hear needs for those kinds of improvements in the community? Are there other things, home rehabs now are thinking like inside the home, that would help improve property values,
Does it have
keep
to be
people
inside?
homes? Well, not necessarily. It
So
typically
there's
is,
a
but.
specific neighborhood in the High Ridge area that all of the wells have run dry. And
Okay,
there
well
are a bunch of
replacement.
people that don't have water.
Okay, well replacement.
Does that count?
Before, we've looked at that before. We haven't gotten any of those projects approved through HUD in the past, but that's something to keep on the radar and see. Yes.
I know there are some homes around here where people just, you know, they'll put the cars up over the roof because
Yeah.
they just cannot afford to do. So that was something, you know,
Skirting.
or hey, what, you know, what can we do? Yeah,
Skirting.
Okay, yep, skirting replacement, roof replacement. And just so this group knows too, since we're in hurricane season, there is CDBG DR funding, which is disaster recovery funding that's allocated from the federal level straight to the state of Florida. And so even from last storm season, the state of Florida is receiving about $1 billion for home replacements. This is for properties that incurred some kind of damage from the storm. So keep that in mind, especially as we get new storms. Hopefully not this year, but we always prepare. But if you hear people who receive damage from weather, severe weather, there is a chance we can pair them with the state and they can work on home
Is that
replacement.
only with CDBG counties that get that funding?
No, that's a program that runs directly through the state. So the state has all the contractors, they vet people, they walk residents through the application process.
What about windows and doors?
Yes, it would include that as well. And actually, from the funding storm season last year, the state is going to come to Clay County over the summer, and they're going to do a drive around to look at some of our impacted areas and see if we do have anyone who is eligible from last year's damage. So keep that in mind. We'll definitely let the High Ridge Initiative know when that's scheduled. But
So that's just for the R portion of the CDBG. What about the regular housing rehab?
right, so this funding we're talking about tonight, it's not connected to the hurricanes or disasters. So this is just people who are qualifying based on income.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why did that budget line get shrunk down this year? Is there a reason? And I don't know, did the whole total budget get shrunk from last year to this year?
No, the whole total budget is still about $1 million. It's been that way, pretty stable since the beginning. We shrunk it because we have heard increasingly every year that public infrastructure is a top priority, and it is expensive to do public infrastructure projects. So it's just trying to stretch our $1 million and impact as many people as we can. Yeah.
It seemed like there was a lot of applications in the housing rehab last year.
Yes.
So
Yes. So. All right. Anything else?
What fund did that come out of my shower?
that was through mission, not through CDBG.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was through the grant at mission.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go to our final page for discussion. And this is, again, just making sure that we're on the right track in terms of priorities, because we discussed about 3/4 of the funding is going to public infrastructure, and the remaining going to housing and a little for administrative costs. So we have some stickers, and it's pretty simple because we just have the two major budget categories, but we just want to know from you all, what do you say is your number one priority? How would you like to see the funds used? So if you could just stick your top priority under either infrastructure or rehab, and then your second priority, we have stickers here.
Are you ready first?
Yes, please, come on up.
So we're all on the same page.
I gotta come up with a sound effects app. That's how I turn a corner, squall. That's what I got. I know. There you, this thing will hurt. I learned over my own toes with it. It didn't feel good.
All right, thank you for that. Chris, we'll go to our last page here, which is just any other comments, anything we didn't capture in our discussion tonight that you would like to share.
You said there's more funds for like neighborhood cleanup that will roll over, so
Yes.
that will still be accessible from last year's funding.
Yes. Yes.
And then what's the connect link for that with some of the, like I see that it says, where is it? the administrator is the Board of County Commissioners, and then the department or agency is the community and social services and those things. So how, I know some of that structure is changing, it seems like. What is the connection point, both, I guess, from CDBG down, but then for making those, getting the dumpsters and those kind of things for cleanups or even programs like this? Who's going to be administering that?
So there is still a dedicated county staff person who oversees volunteer programs, and I think this will still fall under volunteers. So yes, you'll have your usual
Okay.
point of contact there. I would say during public comment, that would be helpful to hear from High Ridge. You can supply this later to us via
Okay.
email, but just an estimate of how many cleanups you would like to see planned in the
Okay.
next year, or specific locations. That way we can, take into consideration and make sure that that budget is still
Do
where
they
it
only
should
have
be.
to be for High Ridge?
No, ma'am.
Sorry, they can be another,
Countywide.
Yeah,
Yes,
countywide.
countywide. Yep, it can be
The bucket
countywide or
funding is in
neighborhood.
CDBG, but yes, it could be anywhere countywide.
Yes, yes.
Is there any other neighborhoods that need more clean up like that I'm not aware of?
I know,
I don't
we
get
can
around
use
those
it over by
neighborhoods.
name.
I know Heritage Ridge has needed for a long time, it's coming together.
You said Heritage Ridge?
Now, is there any other areas similar to that need cleanup that you know of, or do anybody know of?
I know there's some in Middleburg and that Plato,
Yeah, close to Kentucky Pride, that area.
yeah.
Yeah, I know that neighborhood you're talking about.
Okay,
I'm in Sunrise.
okay. Yep, and I know Tanglewood is an area that's been brought up recently. Bel Air has been brought up. We'll be in Middleburg later this week, so hopefully we'll get some good feedback there too.
Well, we want to keep it all around here in Keystone.
Yeah.
I'm sure they all say that, right?
Yeah, we want a gold dome over in the corner, that little apartment, that area where they took out the Chinese restaurant. They get gold, the gold dome there. On top of it.
All right. Well, just some final comments to conclude. As I mentioned, we'll continue to collect comments and feedback through June 30th. So if there are others who couldn't be here tonight, please let them know. Those opportunities are available. We'll have another public comment meeting at the Middleburg Library on this Thursday, June 12th at 6 p.m. And then we'll be at the Orange Park Public Library on Monday, June 23rd, also at 6 p.m. There will be 2 public hearings at the Board of County Commissioner meetings, the first one being tomorrow night, June 10th at 5 p.m. And then the final public hearing is the adoption hearing, Tuesday, July 8th. And that's when the Board of County Commissioners will accept the budget proposal and the annual action plan for next year. So,
Has there been any discussion or talk of what infrastructure projects may be targeted this year specifically, or it's just broad open?
at this point during public comment, we're leaving it broad and open. We specifically mention the roads and sidewalks because that's what we've heard
Right.
pretty repetitively. So I know our engineering and public works departments, they're pulling together a list of priority areas they've heard too. So all that will start to become more detailed as we get closer to July 8th.
But, so those will be somewhat more decided by July 8th, is that, or will it be, we're kind of, the Board of County Commissioners is, we're taking comment, the Board of County Commissioners is going to approve, and then decisions will be made on what the infrastructure projects will be going forward.
Yes, I think the level of detail the annual action plan will get to is roads and sidewalks under public infrastructure and probably identify some target areas.
Okay.
So, yeah, it'll broadly say Keystone, Orange Park, areas like that.
Okay.
All right.
We want to give Orange Park to Duval.
All right, well, if nothing else, thank you so much for coming out tonight and participating. We appreciate hearing your opinions. So.